Hi, my name is JP from Burgess Plumbing. I have been working for Burgess for 4 years. I do the leak detection and camera inspections with a team of mine. We also do any general plumbing and try and get our hands dirty as much as we can. I've had the privilege to experience the CAT S62 Pro for the last few weeks, and it's been awesome. The features on this phone is probably one of the best I've seen, and the way that it integrates into a normal smartphone is amazing. You don't have to worry about losing some of your smartphone capabilities. Everything works perfectly. The thermal camera is definitely the focal point of it, since you don't find these thermal cameras on phones like this. It's helped a lot with the leak detection, since you can actually trace the pipe work through the walls, and you can check heat loss. You can monitor heat loss over time as well. So if a client is spending a little bit more on electricity, you can actually go and monitor why. Getting to the ceiling and do a pre-scan on the geyser, you can physically see the heat loss, which is awesome in our industry, because that's what they want to try and save on. So the CAT S62 Pro, in terms of helping plumbers with their everyday workload, it's helped immensely. Especially when it comes to doing reports, when you compile the thermal cameras and every other footage you've done, it's as simple as just going into your app, adding your pictures, putting your descriptions, and then there you have your report. You can email it straight through, or you can do some more editing on it afterwards, adding in extra pictures, adding in extra thoughts that you had. You can even convert that into doing quotes. It actually does have a toolbox for working out quotes, so that's also perfect in terms of helping you with your everyday running your ship. It's an awesome tool to have. I mean, you get the financial quote app that's included in the whole CAT setup, and it's got a value cost estimating tool. So if you are on a site, let's say a big site, I've actually had this where I had to run out lengths of pipe. This helped me immensely. I just got the price from the supplier, added it in, put the lengths that I needed, and there I had my drawers. I could get my quotes out and done within a few minutes. So where the thermal camera has helped me immensely is with damp detection. You do a pre-scan of the wall, and you can actually monitor exactly the temperature, because the thermal camera itself has got various different tools, especially when it comes to monitoring specific temperatures on a surface area. Doing a pre-scan at a client's house, we found that the temperature was very damp, and it actually showed us that the temperature was 20 degrees Celsius on the dot. When we went back a week later after telling her not to use certain of the showers, you could see the temperature rise, and you could see the moisture pulling out from the surface area, and the temperature actually increased. And it picks up small changes in temperature, even 1 degree Celsius difference. It's actually quite awesome in terms of helping you find the smaller leaks. You know, it's perfect. This phone is indestructible. It just goes to show. I'm sure you can let a truck drive over it. It has fallen a few times where other phones would definitely crack, especially the screen. This phone has shown some serious resilience. And also you can use it with your wet hands, which is a major thing in our industry, because our hands are almost always wet and the phone doesn't stop ringing, where you don't have to worry with this phone. The fingerprint works even if you do have water splashed all over it, and you can answer and use, and there's no lag, whereas a normal phone would just get stuck as soon as water comes in contact with it. This phone is awesome. And also, if you've got gloves on, you don't need to take your gloves off to use this phone. It works perfectly with the gloves on, and that's any gloves. I've tried several different gloves on it just to see how far I can push it, and rubber gloves work on it. Even the material gloves meant for welding work on it, and it doesn't get stuck at all. It's like you're using your hands to use the phone. It's actually quite a brilliant feature. Focusing on the thermal aspect of it only, since you do get dedicated thermal cameras, this is definitely one of the top dogs. You've got many different settings that you don't even find on several other FLIR options. You can literally go and pinpoint specific temperatures on this device where you can go back later and compare the two. You can literally go down to the point degrees Celsius, which you don't even find in standard thermal cameras. This camera is about 20 times better than the previous one. It is amazing. Any sort of person that works with thermal cameras, you won't be upset when you get this phone. You will find everything that you need and more. Especially since you can precisely see the temperature differences. That is one big thing that thermal cameras sometimes lack, is the ability to zone into specific areas and see the specific temperature changes. And this device allows you to measure the fluctuations and see the specific heat loss. I would definitely recommend this phone to leading industries, especially in the HVAC and the plumbing industry. When it comes to leak detections, these cameras can be very expensive, but if you can integrate that into your phone, that's perfect, because then you cut hours out of your work time, especially compiling reports. And when it comes to HVAC, that's also another industry where this phone will be perfect, because you need to see temperature differences on your plants, and this phone just gives you all those capabilities. You can see where drafts are, where your cold room is losing temperature to the smallest degree, because it's got many different tools on it. You can pinpoint all your different temperatures. And especially for pipe tracing in the walls, if you run the hot water, you'll definitely see where your pipes are going. And it can also see a little bit of your cold water as well. Some of the best features of this phone, obviously the thermal camera stands to test. It's one of the best I've seen, even compared to standard thermal cameras only. This is by far better than most of them. But you can't run away from the fact that you can use this phone even when it's wet. That's one of the best features, and it's rugged. I mean, you can knock this phone and you can really bash it around, and it won't cause any damage. Another very cool thing about this phone is the screen. It can't scratch like a normal screen, a phone screen that you'd be used to. You can literally try your best to scratch the screen and it won't. It doesn't need a screen protector because it is so resilient as it is. The fingerprint is awesome because you can allow more than one finger on it. So if you need your left finger to open it, it's as easy as that. It opens it, and your right hand as well. I've had many different rugged phones throughout the years. This is by far the best one. I find that apart from all the other good features on this phone, especially the thermal camera, the ruggedness of it is one of the best. It's definitely an improvement since all the other phones. I've seen a few CAT phones before. This is one of the more resilient ones. This phone won't damage. You can try your best. Yeah, this was my first experience with the CAT S62 Pro, and I can honestly say I won't go back. If you throw this phone in a swimming pool, it will work, especially since your sockets are protected. Where your SIM card and that goes in, it's got rubber linings and it fits perfectly in. You can literally put this phone underwater and everything will still be fine. It's also got a very handy button that you can assign any feature to. So if you need to open your camera, you just press this button and open it. You can hold it in, and then you can open your normal camera, because even the normal camera on this phone is amazing. If you need to take pictures of documents, it's got all that set up. It's got pre-set up features for those instances. In my honest opinion, when I got this phone to test out, I thought that it was going to lag. I thought that I wasn't going to be able to use it as I use my other smartphones. I was very surprised. The moment I switched it on and synced with all my emails, it was like I had a normal smartphone with me. My WhatsApp was working. It actually had a dual account WhatsApp, so I could run a personal account and a business account WhatsApp from one phone. It's really easy, and you won't even think you've got a rugged smartphone when you've done all that. It would feel like you're using your normal smartphone until you drop it and you find that your screen hasn't cracked. Because that's what you expect when you drop a normal phone, is that your screen is going to be obliterated. Whereas this phone really does go to the limits. I'm sure you can throw this phone and it will be fine. It's made for that sort of stuff. The only thing that I didn't see on this phone was the earphone jack. But that's for obvious reasons. You want less of orifices when you have a phone that's meant to go into water. But an easy way to fix that is the Bluetooth capabilities will easily just link onto a wireless headphone. Then you've got all that sorted, and that in a way is better because then you don't need wires or anything. So in a sense, this phone is promoting the evolution of wireless headphones. I've put this phone through the ringer. I was tasked with trying to put this phone to the limits. So what I did is, first of all, I kept everything on. I kept my Bluetooth on, kept Wi-Fi on. I didn't put battery saver on, and this battery lasted me 2 days. That's more than any other normal smartphone. This phone does not need a cover. How much do people spend after they've bought their phone? They need a cover for it. This phone is a built-in cover, and I've tried my best to find the weak points in it. There is no weak points. You literally don't need to buy a cover for this phone. And in terms of hygiene, you can actually go and wash your phone. Have you ever heard of that? You can literally put your phone under the water and wash off any marks, especially us guys working in dusty areas and working with stuff that gets stuck to your phone. You can just wash it off. This phone is revolutionary. You can wash it underwater and it cleans it. Try and wash any of your other smartphones and you'll need to run and put it in rice very quickly. This phone doesn't need any rice bowls. You wash it and you don't even need to wait for it to dry. You can just start using it straight away. I've actually had a practical experience of this where I had to wash my hands and the phone was ringing. I answered the phone and no problems. It didn't lag or anything. Normally when your fingers are wet, you can't use your phone. Your phone will start freezing and jumping around. Whereas the CAT S62 Pro is made for that. It's made for you to use it with your hands wet, use it with your hands dirty, use it with gloves on. It's perfect. There are no negatives when it comes to using this phone as a normal everyday phone. So I dropped the phone down a manhole a few times, but the one time stands out to me because the phone actually landed on its camera side. So every single photo I took after that was fractaled because the screen was cracked. With this phone, I'm sure you can let it fall 1,000 times and you'll still have a perfect picture afterwards. It's made for the rugged guy that needs to climb into the funny spaces, that sort of is expecting his phone to fall. Burgess Plumbing is always looking at the next best thing in tech that can help us do our everyday plumbing. And this phone has really done that. We can go to clients who really need our leak detection services with this, and we can go there with confidence. We can put our other equipment down and this will cover it, especially the infrared leak detection. I've actually put some of my other tools away and dedicated only this device to it, and it's been amazing. Apart from it being my normal phone, I can use it to help clients find the leaks in their walls, see where they're losing heat loss, and I've actually done that, and so far this device has helped us a lot. It's definitely something that we will integrate, as we only look at the best technologies when we improve, and this is definitely one that we'll put on our shortlist that we'll definitely use every day. If you need any services done, you can rely on Burgess Plumbing to look after your solar needs, any leak detection that you need to be done, even if you don't suspect any leak but you've got a high water bill, any sort of maintenance, we'll be there for you. We tackle from small construction to big construction. We do anything. We will be there for you. We've got the perfect teams. We've got specialized teams that will only be there for certain things, which makes it better. We will tend to your every need. Just give us a call.